along its secondary roads, Manuel L. Quezon Avenue, Ninoy Aquino Avenue, Andres Bonifacio Avenue, Blue Diamond Street, and Piatti Street. So we appreciate your punctuality and participation in this critical phase of the bidding process. I am Vina Lima Nadigi, the Vice Chair of the Special Bids and Awards Committee, and joining me today are the other SBAC members, namely Attorney Marvin Ocampo, Mr. Alan L. Añonuevo, the provisional members, Engineer Federico G. Garcia Jr. and Engineer Antonio O. Pamintuan III. So, Secretariat, please acknowledge the presence of our technical working group.
Madam Chair, present from the technical working group are the TWG head, Christopher Gomez, the TWG members, Architect Granilo Liwanag, Miriam Pamindanan, and for the provisional TWG members, we have Engineer Antonio Pamintuan Jr. or the third, Engineer Virgel Maria Lacanlale, Engineer Hil Batan, Engineer Lawrence Nakpil, and for the secretariat, we have yours truly, Engineer Cherry Ann Navarro, Miss Jessie Alessandra P. Cruz, and Miss Michelle D. Dison. Um, that would be all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Secretariat. So we would also like to acknowledge the presence of the SBAC member, Sir Oji Sanchez, via Zoom. So with that, I officially call this pre-bid conference to order. May we now proceed with the proposed agenda items for this meeting.
Our agenda for today's meeting would be the pre-bid conference for the project upgrading of CCAC street lights phase 2 along secondary roads Manuel L. Quezon Avenue, Ninoy Aquino Avenue, Andres Bonifacio Avenue, Blue Diamond Street, and Piatti Street.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda item?
Motion to approve.
Any second? So a motion was made and seconded. So the SBAC unanimously approved the agenda. So now, Secretariat, may we request the prospective bidders who are present on site to join us here in the boardroom. So to our prospective bidders, good morning and welcome to this pre-bid conference. So may I now request the prospective bidders to please introduce yourselves as well as the company that you represent. May we also hear from the prospective bidders who are present via Zoom. We have Mr. Jake Abela. Mr. Abela, may we know from what company po? So we also have Mr. Ruel Evangelista. Mr. Evangelista, good morning. Thank you po. We also have Mr. Randy Villotes. Sir Randy, from what company po do you represent? Thank you, sir. Then we also have Mr. Zaldi Senya. Thank you very much po. So we will now proceed with the pre-bid conference. May I request the Secretariat and the end user to please present the House rules as well as the presentation for this project.
Hello. Good morning, Madam Chair, and the members of the SBAC and TWG. Also, good morning for our prospective bidders on site and online. Okay, Madam Chair, we would like present for the engineering the pre-bid conference presentation for the project upgrading of CCAC Streetlights Phase 2 along its secondary roads, Manuel L. Quezon Avenue, Ninoy Aquino Avenue, Andres Bonifacio Avenue, Blue Diamond Street, and Piatti Street. For the house rules, for the online participant, please ensure your name show in your screen is in this format. Company, acronym name of the online representative. For easy and proper identification, please ensure that your names are readable to everyone. All prospective bidders, representative present online are encouraged to have their cameras on during the entire conference. Please mute your mic while the conference is ongoing. Should you have any questions or clarification, please, please take note and reserve it during the Q&A portion of the presentation. Questions will be entertained after the presentation. All questions and queries will be addressed through supplemental bid bulletin. When speaking, please state your name and company name. For the project background of this project, the upgrading of CCEC Streetlights Phase 2 project is intended to enhance the public safety and improve visibility along the various secondary roads within the Clark Civil Aviation Complex. Specifically, the project covers the following roads. For the blue line, which is the ML Quezon Avenue. For the orange, which is Ninoy Aquino Avenue. For the green is the A. Bonifacio Avenue. For the yellow, Blue Diamond Street. For the red, Piatti Street. And the magenta is the access road. The project description we suppose this intended to enhance the street lighting infrastructure within the Clark Civil Aviation Complex, with the primary objective improving road safety and security. The scope of the works includes the installation of the power feeder cables and associated control systems, construction of cable ducts and trench, implementation of horizontal directional drilling, provisional of handholds with covers, erection of streetlight poles with corresponding concrete footings and support, and the supply and installation of energy efficient LED luminaires. For the overview of the streetlights phase 2, so for the ML Quezon Avenue, we have 51 sets. For the Ninoy Aquino Avenue, we have 26 sets. For the A. Bonifacio Avenue, we have 19 sets. For the Blue Diamond Street, we have 14 sets. For Piatti Street, 13 sets. And for the access road as 10 sets, with a total of 130 sets. These are the design features of the street light poles and the lightning fixtures for a total of 130 sets of the new LED street lights. For the project details of the project, we have a approved budget of the contract of 29,998,000, inclusive of all applicable taxes and fees, and for the project duration of 240 calendar days. For the project timeline frame, for the 240 calendar days. For the general requirements, we which has a 30 calendar days or 1 month, for the permits and licenses of 60 calendar days or 2 months, and for the construction phase of 180 calendar days or 6 months. For the minimum qualification of the contractor, bidders must have at least a PCAB license, small B, category C and D, with specialty classification for electrical works from the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB. The PCAB license must be valid and effective at the time of submission of the bid. The bidders must have a single largest completed contract or SLCC that's similar to this project, equivalent at least 50% of the approved ABC, in accordance with the section 52.4.2.4 of the IRR of RA 12009. For the purpose of the contract similar to this project, refers to the contract which have the same major categories of the work, which will be supply, installation, and construction of new street lights, including the supply of materials, labor, labor and equipment. For the SLCC, shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance, issued by the project owner, other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES, or similar performance and monitoring system. In the case of the contract with a private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted in accordance with the Section 52.4.2.5 of RIR of RA 12009. For the minimum required personnel uh, to be assigned for this project, one project electrical engineer must be a PRC licensed electrical engineer with a 5 years minimum work experience related to the project. One project civil engineer must be a PRC licensed civil engineer with a 5 years minimum work experience related to the project. One master electrician with must be PRC licensed registered master electrician with 5 years minimum work experience related to the project. One safety officer must be a safety officer 2 with construction occupational safety and health or COSH certificate and 2 years experience minimum work experience. One materials engineer must be a PRC licensed civil engineer and DPWH certified materials engineer 1 with 5 years minimum work experience related to the project. Uh, Another required for personnel, minimum requirement for the personnel, each nominated personnel shall only be nominated in a single position. The winning bidder shall ensure that its nominated key personnel shall be work full-time on the project. The nominated the nominated personnel shall be submit their individual curriculum vitae or CVs or resume. Photocopies of PRC license and DPWH accreditation certificate must be submitted during bid opening. An expired license must be accepted as long as there is a proof of renewal prior to the submission of the bid. Valid or renewed PRC license of all key personnel assigned must be shown during post-qualification. For the minimum required equipment are the following: one hauling truck with a capacity of 2.5 cubic meter, one horizontal directional drilling machine or HDD with a capacity of 32 millimeter diameter drilling capacity, one aerial boom lift truck with a capacity of 200 kilogram gauge loading capacity with a minimum working height of 15 meters, one truck mounted telescopic boom with a capacity of 35 metric tons hook loading capacity with working minimum work height of 15 meters. Supporting documents that may be submitted during the opening bids: photo of the vehicle or the equipment, Photo of body marking showing the capacity of the vehicle and equipment. The bidder may deploy additional equipment during implementation on the top of the mandatory equipment if necessary. For the mode of payment, under advance payment, the procuring entity shall make advance payment to the contractor in the amount of not exceeding 15% of the total contract price, to made in lump sum or at the most of two installments according to the schedule specified in the instruction to the bidders and other relevant bidding documents. Advance payment shall be made only upon a written request of contractor which shall form of the contractor documents and submission of irrevocable standby letter of credit of equivalent value from a bank as confirmed by the procuring entity. A bank guarantee or a surety bond callable upon the demand issue by a duly licensed surety or insurance company at the option of procuring entity. The advance payment shall be accordance with the section of 71.2.5 of IRR of RA 12009. For the progress payment, once a month the contractor may submit a statement of work accomplishment or progress billing and corresponding request for the progress payment of work accomplished. The SWA should be shown the amount which the contract consider itself to the entitled to up at the end of the month to cover the following: the cumulative value of works it executed to the date based on the items in the bill of quantities and adjustment need for the approved variation order executed. The procuring entity representative of the project engineer should check the contractor SWA and certify the amount to be paid the contractor progress payment. The procuring entity should deduct the following from the certified gross amount to be paid to the contractor as progress payment. Uh, Number one, the cumulative value of the work previously certified for the paid for. Portion of the advance payment to be recouped, retention money in accordance with the condition of the contract, amount to cover third-party liabilities, and the amount to cover uncorrected discovered defects in the works. The materials and equipment delivered on-site but not completely installed shall not be included for the payment. The progress payment shall be accordance with the section 71.2.7 of IRR of RA 12009. Reminders and requirements for the bidding documents. On single largest completed contract or SLCC, the bidder must have completed a single completed contract or SLCC that is similar to this project, is equivalent at least 50% of ABC or in the amount of 14,999,000. For this purpose, contract similar shall refer those for the supply, installation, and construction of new street lights, including the supply of materials, labor, and equipment. Therefore, the bidder shall be submit the document proof, such as certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner, other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES, or a similar performance and monitoring system. In case of contract with private sectors, an equivalent document shall be submitted. On the minimum required personnel, each nominated personnel shall only be nominated in a single position. The winning bidder shall be ensured that the nominated key personnel shall be working full-time on the project. The nominated personnel shall be submit their individual curriculum vitae or resume. Photocopy of the PRC license and DPWH accreditation certificate must be submitted during the bid opening. An expired license may be accepted as long that there is a proof of renewal prior to the submission of the bid. Valid or renewed PRC license of all key personnel assigned must be shown during the post-qualification. For the required equipment, supporting documents must be submitted during the opening bids. Photocopy of the vehicle or equipment, a photo of the body marking showing the capacity of the vehicle and equipment, The bidder may deploy additional equipment during the implementation on top of the mandatory equipment if necessary. For the checklist and tabbing requirements, for technical component envelope, Class A documents under legal documents, valid PINJEBs, registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages, in accordance with Section 20 of IRR of RA 12009. Updated general information sheets or GIS reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly submitted to the SEC in accordance with the annual reportal requirements in case of corporation duly organized and existing under law of Republic of the Philippines. Under Class A documents for technical documents, statement of prospective bidders of, of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to the bid. Statement of the bidder of SLCC similar to the contract to the bid, except under condition provided for the section 52.4.2.4 and 52.4.245 of IRR of RA 12009 with the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents. For the special PCAB license in case of joint venture or registration of the type of and cost of the contract to bid, original copy of the bid security in the form of surety bond, submit also the certification issued by the insurance commission or original copy of notarized bid security securing declaration. For the project requirements should include the following: organizational chart for the contract to bid, list of the contractor's key personnel, either project engineer, project civil engineer, master electrician, safety officer, and materials engineer to be assigned to the contract to the bid with their complete qualification and experience data. List of contractors, major equipment units, which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreement, supported by the proof of ownership or certification of availability of the equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be. Original duly signed omnibus sworn statement in accordance with Section 54.3 of the IRR of RA 12009, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of corporation, partnership, or the cooperative, or original special power attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and to do act the represent the bidder. The prospective bidder competition for the Okay, sorry. For Class A documents under financial documents, prospective bidders computation for the net financial contracting capacity of NFCC. For Class B documents under financial documents, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with R8 4566 at its RII in case of the joint venture is already existence or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will be entered into and advised by the provision of the JBA in instance that the bid is successful. Under financial component envelope, original of duly signed and accomplished financial form bid, and other documentary requirements under RA 12009, original and duly signed bid price in the bill of quantities, and duly accomplished detailed estimate form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit price of construction materials, labor, rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid, and cash flows by quarter. For the bid forms under technical component, for the bid declaration form, reminders, this form should be duly signed by the authorized signatory of the firm, entity, or joint venture or consortium. In case of JB, this form should be notarized. Bidders shall be submit the original copy of the bid securing declaration form. For the bid securing declaration form, this was under by omnibus sworn statement. This form should be duly signed by the authorized representative uh, of the firm, entity, JB, or consortium. In case of JB, omnibus sworn statement shall be notarized. Bidders shall submit the original copy of the omnibus sworn statement. For the statement of the single largest completed contract, this form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm, entity, JB, or consortium. In case of JB and consortium, be specific on the name of the contract, owner's name and address, date of the contract, nature of work, and contractor's roles consistent with the supporting documents. The actual total contract value at the completion should meet the required experience having the completed SLCC that is similar to the project, equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. SLCC should be a completed project. SLCC should be supported by certified true copy of the notice of award, contract, notice to proceed, and certificate of final acceptance issued by the owner or the CFS final rating. All data on the form shall be correct and consistent. Bidder shall submit the original copy of the statement of the bidder's SLCC. For the statement of the all ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, this form shall be duly signed by the authorized representative. Be specific on the name of contract, owner's name and address, date of the contract, nature of work, and contractor's roles, consistent with the supporting documents. Supporting documents in the technical component is not required. However, during the conduct post-qualification, the original copies of the supporting documents shall be presented. Supporting documents are the certified true copy of the notice of award, contract, notice to proceed, and certificate of accomplishment from the project owner or representative ongoing project. All data on the form shall be correct and consistent. Bidder shall submit the original copy of the statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. For the bid forms under financial component, duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Uh, this form should be duly signed by the authorized representative. A bidder shall submit the original copy of bid form. In filling out of the bid form, bidder shall provide a discount offer in the form of amount and in figures and in words, including application and methodology. In case of no discount offer, bidder shall write none. For duly signed and accomplished bill of quantities, all data of form shall be correct and consistent. Pursuant to the section 61.2.1A of the RA 12009, it states that the completeness of the bid, unless the instruction to the bidders specifically allow the partial bids are addressing or providing all of required items in the bidding documents included where applicable. Bill of quantities shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. However, when no price or a zero or a dash is indicating in the required item in the bid form, the same shall be construed that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. Bidder shall submit the original copy of the bill of quantities. For duly signed accomplish of the unit price analysis. All data on this form shall be corrected and consistent. Pursuant for the section 61.2.1 A of RA 12009 stated the completeness of the bid unless the instruction to the bids especially no allow the partial bids are not addressing or providing all the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable, of bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. However, no price or a zero or a dash is indicated in the required item in the bid form. The same shall be construed that it's being offered for free to the government except those required by law or regulation to be provided for. Bidder should submit the original copy of the unit price analysis. For sealings and marking of the bids. For, for the sealing and marking of the bids of the original bid, should be labeled by the original technical component and label for the original financial component. On the screen, attach the bid form for the project title would be submitted by the name and signature of the authorized representative, following the company name and the address. And attention for Engineer Brando C. Aguilera as the SBAC chairperson. And a note for do not open before the time and date of the bid opening. Same as for the financial component. So for the two envelopes, placed into one envelope labeled as the original bid. For the copy 1 of the bid, should be labeled a copy 1 technical component and copy 1 for the financial of bid. Same for the details. For the copy 1 of the bid, we put in the two envelopes into one envelope label copy 1 bid. For the copy 2 bid, should be labeled copy 2 bid, a copy 2 technical component, and copy 2 financial component. So same, please put the two envelopes into one envelope label copy 2 bid. So this was the overview for the original bid, copy 1 bid, and copy 2 bid. So all the three envelope we should put in the one envelope with label bid. So submit to SIAC properly and sealed. So this was the overview of the old envelopes. So common reasons of disqualification. The common reason for disqualification, non-submission of any of the required documents in the technical and financial component of the bid, non-declaration of all ongoing contracts, incurring of the negative slippage of at least 15% in any one of project or at least 10% in each of two or more contracts. Failure to present the exact equipment pledged in their bid submission during the various reasons. Declaration of SLCC not contracted and completed. Nomination of key personnel who has no valid license as does not meet the required qualification. Falsification of documents in the bid submission. Incomplete submission of bill of quantities. Non-submission of the certificate of the key personnel with ongoing project, non-submission of proof of ownership as specified in the bidding documents. For the procurement timeline, the submission of the bid will be on August 13, 2025, Wednesday at 1 p.m. You will submit at the SIA Corporate Office Building, Clark People Zone, at the same date. The opening of the bid, August 13, 2025 at 1:15 p.m. at SIA Corporate Office Building, Clark People Zone. For the question and clarification, please send to the email of sbacsecretariat@siac.gov.ph. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Lawrence. So before we proceed to the question and answer part of this conference, may I just acknowledge the presence of our prospective bidders from PDCA Engineering Services, namely Sir Jake Abelia and Mr. Dean Michael Gintu, who are present online. And we also have Mr. Joseph Ocampo representing Waymaker, who is present on site. Also, we have our observer from the Internal Audit Department, Mr. Edward Rivera, who is present on site. And we also have Ms. Roanne Habok from CAAP, who is present via Zoom. So now, the floor is open for questions from our prospective bidders.
Good morning. Good morning po ulit. From Traffic Supplies, Ruby Lopez. Dun sa bid documents po, under page 65, for technical specification, it says that certification from luminaire manufacturer that it has a local office operating in the Philippines for more than 20 years to ensure local support only from reliable brands with local office. Bali, is it required to submit it in, sa opening ng bid?
Um, Hindi naman po. Most well requirement during implementation na po yun. Ay, post-qua po. Post-qualification. Sa post-qua po, i-check po.
Okay.
But we answered those questions on the supplemental bid po.
Okay, sir. If ever po ba na meron pa kaming ibang question, can still write?
Yes po. You should
Until when po?
send po yung
Ah,
later po magbibigay po si secretariat for the submission of all the questions po.
okay po.
So again po, to our prospective bidders, all of your questions po will be answered through a supplemental bid bulletin. And also you may, if you have questions po after this pre-bid conference, as Sir Lawrence have said po, you may email it po to the email that was flashed a while ago. So any other questions po from our prospective bidders? From Lumni Corporation, sir, do you have questions po?
Yes, sir. Required po, sir. But again, sir, we answer your question through supplemental bid po.
Any question po from Solar Grid representatives? Okay, noted, sir. Noted, sir. Thank you. How about from Geotop Construction and Supplies? Any questions po? Noted, sir. How about from PDCA Engineering Services? Sir Jake Abelia or Mr. Dean Michael Gintu, any questions po? Noted, sir. How about from Mr. Joseph Ocampo po from Waymaker?
Hello, magtatanong ko lang sana yung design.
Sir Lawrence, can you just flash po yung design ng ating street lights?
If you see, sir, we have also a ongoing project for the upgrading CCC Streetlights Phase 1. Yun po rin yun yung design po namin. Claro M Recto po yung naka-install po siya, sir. Thank you.
How about from traffic supplies? Ma'am, do you still have any question po?
Wala na po.
So if there are no more questions from our prospective bidders, may I now request the Secretariat to present the reminders to the bidders.
Flashed on your screen are the reminders to our prospective bidders. So the deadline for the submission of queries and or requests for clarification is on August 3, 2025. That would be a Sunday, not later than 5 p.m. So all of your queries should be sent through the email address sbacsecretariat@siac.gov.ph. All letters and or notices sent to and issued by the SIAC SBAC shall be coursed through the email address provided, and all prospective bidders or bidders are required to provide the SBAC Secretariat their respective official email addresses. Otherwise, the email address used by the company in communicating with the SBAC through the SBAC Secretariat shall be considered the official email address of the said company. So all prospective bidders or bidders are also required to acknowledge the receipt of all notices or letters issued by the SBAC. Next on our reminder would be the issuance of the bid bulletin is on August 6, 2025. It falls on a Wednesday and shall be posted at the websites of SIAC at siac.gov.ph. And also, it will also be posted to philjeps.gov.ph website of Philjeps on the same day. So that would be August 6. And then lastly, the deadline for the submission of bids is on August 13. It also falls on a Wednesday. Bids must be duly received by the SIAC Records Management Division located in the SIAC Corporate Office Building not later than 1 p.m. So for the late bids, this will not be accepted. Additionally, we may also remind the bidders that the bidding for SIAC projects shall be governed by all the provisions of Republic Act number 12009 and its implementing rules and regulations, including associated policies, rules and regulations as the primary source thereof. So while the terms of reference and other clauses provided on the bidding document shall serve as the secondary source thereof. So the procurement law is controlling and deemed written into the bidding documents, and it is incumbent upon bidders to be familiar and compliant with its provisions. The bidder, by the act of submitting its bid, shall be deemed to have verified and accepted the general requirements of this project, including other factors that may affect the cost, duration, and execution or implementation of the contract, project, or work, and examine all instructions, forms, terms, and project requirements in the bidding documents. We also put emphasis on Section 61 of the IRR of RA 12009 for the procurement of goods and infrastructure projects. The SBAC shall evaluate the technical and financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the steps as provided for in this section. Prospective bidders are reminded that a suspended or blacklisted supplier, contractor, or consultant shall not be allowed to participate in all procurement opportunities for the government for the duration of the suspension or blacklisting. So regardless of the modality of procurement employed by the procuring entity. Bid envelopes that are not properly sealed and marked shall be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. And then the SBAC shall assume no responsibility for the misplacement of the contents of the improperly sealed or unmarked bid or for its premature opening. So should the bidder decide not to submit a bid, the said bidder should justify in writing to the SBAC the reason for the non-submission. So this provision is applicable to companies who have purchased the bidding documents for the said project. Pursuant to Section 99.1 of the IIR of RA number 12009, the Hope shall impose the penalty of suspension for 1 year for the first offense and suspension of 2 years for the second offense for withdrawing a bid without justifiable cause. We also note that caution to prospective bidders, should there be individuals posing on behalf of the SIAC SBAC, TWG, and Secretariat as agents or fixers, the same should be reported to the SIAC SBAC immediately, and this shall not be tolerated by the SIAC SBAC. The bidding shall be conducted impartially and fairly, and no favoritism shall be extended to any prospective bidder or bidder. For as long as the same submits complete requirements, the said bidder shall be qualified. So let me also reiterate the common reasons for disqualification. These are non-submission of any of the required documents in the technical and financial component of the bid, non-declaration of all ongoing contracts, declaration of SLCC not contracted or completed, falsification of documents in the bid submission. Some pages are not signed or initialed. So that would also be a cause for disqualification. And then failure to indicate comply where it is required in the technical specifications. Another would be a failure to integrate the bid bulletin in the technical specifications or failure to indicate comply in the bid bulletin as well. Incorrect submission of omnibus sworn statement as stated on the prescribed form, and expired platinum PhilJEPS registration. So that would be all for the reminders of the Secretariat.
Thank you, Secretariat. So again, to our prospective bidders, please be reminded that the deadline for the submission of your queries or clarifications is on August 3. And we hope to see you all on August 13th for the submission opening of the bids. So with that, we all of our prospective bidders may now be excused from the conference.